He's on the verge of death, right?
Yeah.
And there's this aspect of the proverbial wise man, right? Or the doctor or whatever coming to give him the game or the wisdom that he needs to go ahead and finish the job. All of that comes out of our historical narratives. Those are actually, that's what I refer to as African cosmology that we see taking place in movies. That's a traditional storyline that we've always had, even before we came here.
You're 100% correct, but it takes somebody that's educated and intellectual or has saw past the basic level concept of theater to explain that, or film, excuse me.
They're teaching us.
Like if there's no one like you in the room to articulate that to the next generation or even just to your peers, they'll miss it. I have a book club that we congregate at least 2 to 4 times a month, and we talk about books and movies, right? And I can meet anybody where they're at. Right. So we've went over movies like Baby Boy, but we've also went over movies like The Big Short that explains the housing crisis and the crash of the market. And for me, I understand so much of this stuff on so many different levels. Like when we look at, if you ever watched the movie The Big Short, right? It talks about what happened with the housing market and crashing. And this is when Jeezy was rapping about the recession and all of that. You know what I mean? I take you back to 2008, right? And
when
for those of us,
when the shit crashed.
And when prices was cheap on the work and all of this. But also it was a time
in real
where
estate.
Yes. This is when I bought my first investment properties and I flipped them. And so for me, as I'm teaching people, it's a movie that the cast is, white based. Like it's mostly white people. It's something that the average person in our culture isn't
not gonna be tuned
into. But when I
right.
make these people watch it and we go over it and I break shit down and I reference things like, this is that time frame when Jeezy was saying the work was coming in for this. This is when people was buying houses and they was getting them for the low, and then it went up and they was able to like and then it put them in the mind. Oh, okay, so that's why we need to look at politics. And like you say, they've been hustling. But it showed the you have to be woke. You have to be looking at not just what's going on in the streets, if you're in the streets, but look at government, look at politics, look at the housing market.
And how it
look
all
at
impacts.
how everything is relative to everything in this damn country.
And how it impacts you where you are. Like, this ain't something that's just happening in some far off thing or just something that, is benign. No, this is happening in your community